Okay, so good evening everybody. Thanks for watching. I'm Alex Oliver, these are my friends. Tonight we're playing Call of Cthulhu RPG. This is Click, Clack, one-shot scenario written by the one and only Rena Henze, who is our keeper for the evening. It's a big warm welcome to a special guest keeper and first time on the stream and on the channel to Rena Henze. Everybody, let's go.
Yay!
And playing with me tonight, I've got some of my favourite people. You'll see above me, the one and only Brutally Honest. She plays Dungeons and Dragons, Call of Cthulhu, Alien RPG, and all the rest with us. And she's a fantastic player. She's a brilliant cosplayer. She loves a dress up. As you can see, that's a fine moustache she's got on tonight. So looking forward to playing with her once again. Next to me, on my right, we have Chrissy Boy. I'm Chris Kidd on Twitch. Chris is a fitness instructor. If you follow him, I'm Chris Kidd on Twitch and all other socials. You'll learn how to be healthy for free. Brew, sorry I never said, Brew is also a Twitch streamer. You'll catch her on Monday, Wednesday and Friday doing co-working streams. You'll catch me in the chat telling all the weird men to go away.
Like flags.
Yes. So yes, Chris is a fitness instructor. You'll catch him on all his socials, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Twitch, on everything. You'll learn how to be healthy for free. You can also catch him gaming on Twitch as well. Max, who is, apart from our keeper this evening, one of the most recent members of the team, plays everything with us. He's only been with us about a month. He's already running his own campaign. We're playing Star Wars RPG and it is super fun. Max runs that. So again, I'm very excited to be playing with you as well, Max. So Brew, Chris, Max, absolute pleasure to be playing with you guys again. And I'm Oliver, you all know me, no introduction needed, right? Tonight we have a very, very special keeper. I went straight to the source of the scenario. I went for the author and I asked, would you like to run your scenario, one of your scenarios on my channel with my friends? And they have agreed to do so. So I'm very excited to bring you. It's a big warm welcome to the channel. A big thank you very much for doing this for us tonight. Welcome, Rena Henze.
Thanks all for having me. I'm very much looking forward to running this. So this is my own scenario set in the 1920s, so classic era Call of Cthulhu. We are going to get into some little spooky shenanigans with a seance. So before we start off with the scenario itself, I would like all of my players to roll luck. So you're going to set your own luck, roll 3d6 times 5. I do this with all of my PCs. 1, because it's funny, and 2, because then you can't blame me if you roll really, really shitty. So 3d6 times 5 and tell me what you get.
Check you out, Brew. I got 10, so 50.
15?
8.
Wow, that's some pretty good rolls.
Mine was not too bad.
I mean, I got 40. That's not bad.
40's just under
40.
average. 50's just above. 45's the middle, isn't it?
I got 10.
Same as me.
Okay, so you've got 50. And Brew, what's your total?
15 times 5, so what is that, 75?
Oh god. Yeah, that. So be spending as much luck as possible. You can't take it with you. And also, I think that means, Max, you are going to be our group luck person for the night. At 40, you have the lowest luck. So congratulations. Everyone stay away from Max. All right.
Hey.
So
That only happens.
let us get into our scenario for the night. Please note content warnings are body horror, potentially, blood, gore, death, madness, your usual Call of Cthulhu things, and potential player versus player, which I'm told will go over very well with this crew. And also claustrophobia is a potential content warning as well. There is no harm to children or named animals, no isms, so homophobia, racism, etc. And also there will be no issues with sexual violence. So we have gone over red lines with the crew, and now we can begin. It is Halloween night, 1920 in New York. It is pouring rain outside. You have all gathered independently. None of you know each other super well. At the home, the Victorian brownstone of one Madame Mina Vines. Madame Mina is a renowned spiritualist and medium. She retired from public life just a few years ago, along with her husband, the famous penny dreadful writer Walter Vines. They were a power couple in the spiritualism scene in New York in the 1890s and then the first few years of the 1900s. But then they retreated from public life. Until a month ago, when Madame Mina returned to the New York society scene, announcing that her husband had recently passed away, but that his spirit was possessing his beloved old typewriter, and that using him as a spirit guide, she could connect to the world of the beyond even better than before, and that she felt a duty to come and provide a few special sittings to reveal the secrets of the afterlife and perhaps comfort the grieving while Walter's spirit remains in the typewriter. Tonight is one of those seances. The four of you were hired by one Mr. Chandler, who is a wealthy investment banker in New York, to check out this seance and discover if Madame Mina's connection to the spirit world is real or just another lot of baloney, which is what he personally believes. Mr. Chandler lost his only daughter, Stephanie, just a few months ago, and he is desperate to find a method of communicating with her. You are all gathered here for this particular seance, having wrangled invitations, and you have entered into this house dripping wet. The butler has taken all of your wet clothing and has offered you libations, shall we say. It is prohibition. However, if you owned the alcohol before prohibition began, it is not considered illegal. So Madame Mina is allowing you to sample some of her own stock. Nice. And you enter into the parlor, the sitting room. There is a blazing fire, an antique grandfather clock, very old, rows of bookcases. You can see there's one shelf that is entirely dedicated to Walter's own work, these penny dreadfuls in paperback. There is a low couch with an elderly couple sitting on it next to the fire. They look to be about in their 70s, the old man with little glasses on the end of his nose, and the elder lady who is talking very, very loudly as if she wants everyone in the room to hear what she is saying. There is also a very bored-looking woman. She looks to be early 20s, in a long, flapper-style dress with beads, leaning against the fireplace, smoking, and looking languidly around the room, extremely bored. And the butler is standing with his tray at the back of the room. There is no sign of Madame Mina. The curtains have been drawn over the windows to keep out the chill. And why don't we introduce our investigators here? So tell us who you are, what you look like. What do we see as you enter into this room? And why don't we start with Oliver?
Okay, so Theo Scotias is half Scottish, half Greek professor of the occult. And I believe he studies or he teaches occult. Is it at Miskatonic University? It is.
Yes.
Yeah, I teach the occult at Miskatonic University. I am 65 years old, so picture a man with salt and pepper hair, quite sharply dressed. He's a professor at the university, so he dresses well. It's not the most attractive of men. I looked at his appearance, it's only 40, so he's quite weathered and not well kept. He's maybe got a scruffy beard and scruffy hair with a big bald patch with a terrible comb over or something like that. His appearance isn't the best. He is a great student of the occult, so he's very, very curious about this typewriter. He's not a skeptic. He's wanting to see if this is real. He believes it maybe could be. Yes, that is Theo Scotias.
So the professor Professor enters the room first, and you are offered a sherry by the butler. And you can take a seat that befits your creaking old bones and your seniority. And next into the room is Max. Max's character.
Walks in and he's a huge, massive man. Typical like noir, like PI in long trench coat. Has that fedora basically pointed down. Has a toothpick in his mouth, kind of looking around. Giving a glare to anybody that gets near him. He kind of nods, looking around at everybody. So he slowly just like watches who everybody's about around, and heads over to the side of the wall. And if you notice his face, it's really kind of scarred bad, and there's just a large, jagged scar across his right eye. And he sits there like, he's kind of like, flexes his knuckles, and you see like there's like, like kind of little cut marks and kind of dents in his hands. It's like he's really gnarled up, and he just sits there quietly and just waits for what's going on.
So, Professor, you see the PI who you've only recently met in Chandler's office. You don't know each other very well, but you recognize each other. And behind the PI, we have Chris. Why don't you describe your character?
Name's Lee Geist. I came up here from Brooklyn, and I'm here from the Brooklyn Post. I'm here to find out what's going on with this stupid phone. Ain't nobody caring about this story, but the boss sent me here, so I'm gonna find out that this is baloney and blow this out of here.
Wonderful.
So, my character...
Amazing, Chris. Amazing, Chris.
I don't know if I can keep up that accent.
You got an idea what he would sound like, so that's...
Yeah.
Love it, Chris. Keep it up. You can do it. I'm sure you can.
So, I look like... I'm a middle-aged guy, but I'm pretty, like, young and spry looking. Quite, light on my feet as I enter the room. I'm kind of half sharply dressed, so kind of like you imagine that you walked into a speakeasy, this guy would definitely be sitting there playing cards. That kind of thing, with a kind of like just the waistcoat and a shirt, but the shirt's rolled up to the elbow. That kind of look, might have a hat on, might take it off, might take someone else's hat from time to time and not know, And that's pretty much Lee Geist. If you also, it's a bit of a pun. So you get it.
Yeah, poltergeist.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got it. I like it.
And last into the room.
You see a stoic man walk in. He is apparently southern in his appearance, and when he talks, it removes all doubt that he's from the south. He is a very clean-cut man, other than a very nice stash that he is sporting, if I do say so myself. And he just seems to be kind of looking around the room, assessing the people in the room, really wondering what's going on in a place like this, and they're not in the right place. They need to be in the place of God. He's here to maybe change some lives.
I'm sure that will go wonderfully for you, Reverend. So, as you all enter the room, take your seats, wander around, whatever it is that you do, the elderly couple on the couch start talking a little bit louder. You hear the older lady going, "Oh, I do hope that Madam Mina can bring the voice of Al. Oh, I do miss him so much. I miss him so much, Maddie." And she buries her face into the elderly gentleman's tweed jacket and starts sobbing loudly. And the man she referred to as Maddie just looks a bit bemused, blinking owlishly behind his glasses and just patting her hand and going, there, dear. I'm sure it will be all right. There. And the young woman at the fireplace looks over at you, Lee, kind of looks you up and down, and she just gestures with her head towards the old couple and rolls her eyes.
Lee just cheekily goes and puffs out a big puff of smoke.
You can give me an intelligence roll, since she's looking directly at you, to see if you recognize her.
Did I roll the purple one or
The green one.
The green one. Purple's for bonus.
Nice.
extreme?
Nice. Okay, you know exactly who this is, which makes sense considering your line of work. This is Nick Dendra. She is a socialite, fairly wealthy. Her parents died recently in a car accident, very tragic, just a few months ago, and she came into a lot of money. She's known for being a party girl and for always flitting from one new thing to the next, looking for a new experience.
Hey, Nikki, how's it going? I remember you. The boss tell me all the time that you go out with him and all that. You know, why you never go out with a guy like me, eh?
You shooting your shot?
Why not?
Why
Do I
not?
need to? Why do I need to roll something?
Are you trying to charm her?
Yes.
Okay,
Let's
give
do
me a
that.
charm roll. She's looking you up and down.
He rolled a 2.
Oh yeah, I feel.
Go shoot your shot.
She
Real
gives
Chris, I
you-
respect that.
She gives you this cool, kind of calculated look. And she shakes her head and says, I don't talk to the press. And turns back towards the fire. What are the other three of you doing as these conversations are happening?
I will be sitting in an comfy, old man friendly chair and having a sherry. Thank you very much. Yamas.
Okay, so you're sitting and having your sherry?
Yes, sitting having a sherry, waiting. I'll probably drink the first sherry very fast and just wait for the butlers to come round with another one.
So as you sit down, Professor, you see this low table that is in the center of this kind of almost circle that's made around the fireplace with chairs. And there is this battered, slightly cracked typewriter on the center of this table. You couldn't really see it when you first came in because people were standing around and the back of the couch is fairly high and the table is pretty low. But it's just sitting there with a piece of paper in it.
So it's the centerpiece of the seance, I guess. Then it's all the chairs are centered round this table, and then the typewriter's
Yes.
on the center of the table. Right? Okay. Brew is peer pressure me to type on it in on the chat on Twitch, but I'm not going to. I will just. Can I see what it says? Does it say anything on the piece of paper? Can I see that from my seating position?
Yeah, it doesn't appear to have any words on it yet. This is a fresh, clean piece of paper.
A fresh page. Okay. So I'll have a pensive little look at that typewriter. Understand that this, I believe, is going to be the centerpiece of the seance, and then just and enjoy my second sherry. Hopefully that the butler's brought round for me.
As he brings you the second sherry, you can give me a spot hidden roll. So you're looking at the typewriter, taking your second glass of sherry.
A fumble. I rolled a 100.
With that fumble, You're looking around at this typewriter, and you want to know if it's for real, right? You're looking, maybe just, are there any wires attached to it? Are maybe those little clickers underneath that a medium can push on to make it move? Just inspecting it, and you trip with your rackety old bones, and the sherry goes all over the typewriter.
Oh, no way. Oh, I'm sorry.
Just
So he yells out,
everywhere.
I'm sorry, signal me, I'm sorry, signal me, and he stumbles back. I'm really sorry, I'm so sorry.
The butler looks at you and looks at the rest of you in the room, and he pulls out a handkerchief and he starts dabbing at the typewriter. But as he does that, you're going to make me a POW roll.
Okay.
And the rest of you see the professor kind of trip and stumble a little bit, and the sherry go all over this typewriter,
Success.
which you're now more aware of than you were before.
Yeah, regular success.
Regular success. For a moment, you swear you see kind of swirly greenish mist around the keys of the typewriter, just for a split second, but it's not there. And you must be it must be the effects of the sherry or something. It's fine. Totally fine.
Yeah, it's the falling over, and it's maybe a bit dizzy, I suppose. Yeah, I'll sit back down.
Mm-hmm. Right, so the professor sits back down. What about the other two while this is happening?
I will look around, just seeing what was going about, and watching the professor just, spill a really good liquor. And he just shakes his head, and he goes over to the butler, and it's like, grabs his hand or something, just chugs it down, puts it back down, and just, looking around to see what everybody else is about. And he's just really looking around the room very carefully if anything weirdly is going about. Just, just one of those things is, as a PI, he's just like this is a bunch of hogwash to him, so he's just kind of seeing if there's wires or some weird goofy thing about.
Mm-hmm. All right, so give me a spot hidden roll.
All right, spot hidden, press the green. Ooh, a success.
Okay. You don't see any wires. You don't see any, as far as you can tell, any cabinets. Sometimes mediums would go into a cabinet. That was the fad in the later part of spiritualism, where they would go into a cabinet and they would be speaking to the interpreter outside about what was happening. Don't see anything like that. Anything that could be something like that. It's weirdly devoid of devices. You have the grandfather clock behind you. You have the typewriter on the table. No obvious wiring. Even the lights in here are gaslight. This house hasn't been wired for electricity or anything else.
Yeah, that's electricity has been recent for the last couple years probably.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. You walk over to the butler and it's like, so where's the lady in the house around? Is she just waiting on something particular or what?
Madam Mina is preparing herself, sir. She will be down shortly.
All right. And he just kind of just nods and just gets another drink, chugs it down, puts it back in something, and walks back to the wall and sits and lays back.
Okay, are you going to one of the walls with the bookcases or just to a regular wall?
Just a regular wall. He just kind of keeps his back to so he can see his exits and then windows, it's just kind of how he is.
So with that success on the spot hidden, as you look around, you'll note that the only entrance is the door behind you, the one you've got your back kind of half to, and then the windows, which are covered by these curtains that are pulled shut by the butler. There's no other doors into this room, and you can't see any other entrances or potential exits. So you take note of that. Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. Reverend?
I'm gonna go over to the old lady. Seems to be crying out about a lost loved one. And I'm gonna... Ma'am, I reckon that you need some prayer. Do you mind if I pray over you?
You're a man of the cloth. Oh dear. Oh yes. My poor Al. My poor Al. I miss him so dreadfully. And it's been an entire month. But you know the pain never really goes away. And I was hoping I could speak to him tonight. And oh dear. And she starts sobbing again. And you see her presumably husband just kind of pull a little handkerchief out of an interior pocket and hand it to her. And she immediately just sort of drenches it.
Oh, ma'am, I'm not here to cast any judgment on you. I just wanna give you over to the Lord so your life can be saved. Because I think you're searching for something here that you can only get from God himself. So, Father God, I pray that you come into this woman's life, that you just be with her in her loss for Al, that you give her the strength, that you lift up her spirit, and that she have answers. Whether they're being what she's prepared to hear or not, Lord, that you just answer those requests for her.
Thank you,
And I'm
Reverend.
sorry for your loss, truly.
And Jack and Lee, you both see Nick, the socialite, really roll her eyes and her shoulders, and she pulls out a little cask, this little metal tin from her handbag, and she pinches a bit of white powder and just goes, oh, and shakes her head again.
Nose fluff. Nice.
Mm-hmm. So
Lee's gonna make a grab for that.
If Theo sees that, he goes, op, 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 which is Greek for tut, 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 tut.
You definitely see that. Reverend, you might...
Op, op, op.
Depending on how you're sitting, you might see that happen because it's oriented towards the fireplace. So you just see this young lady taking a hit of cocaine right there. Lee, why don't you give me...
Dex?
Are you going to ask her for some, or are you just going to take it?
I'm gonna dash. I'm gonna cry.
Okay, give me a dex roll to take some cocaine before she puts the little tin away.
Failed. I knocked all that shit on the floor.
I was flipped
All right.
off the wall.
Did you fumble or just a regular fail?
Almost,
I
it was
it's
a
just-
97.
Okay. So as you go for the cocaine, she starts moving her hand away. Can I interest you in pushing the roll?
Yeah.
Push the roll.
Yeah.
Okay. So how are you going to push the roll as you try to grab some cocaine from her?
What did I try to do?
Just dive straight in with your nose first, mate. That's how I do it.
Okay.
Yeah, nose first.
Okay.
That's how we go.
All right. Push the roll.
What do I do?
Roll again.
So roll again.
I'll roll
Yep.
again.
Just roll again. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a little better, not much.
No, it's
Well,
bad now.
you can't spend luck on pushed rolls. So what happens is you dive in kind of nose first when you realize that the tin is being pulled away, and you slip on a bit of the sherry that is still on the ground. The butler hasn't gotten to cleaning everything up yet because he's focused on the typewriter. And your head slams into the tin, and cocaine goes flying into the air everywhere, just sort of blanketing this part of the room in this fine white dust. And Nick slaps you hard across the face.
Ooh. Oh.
And I need the professor
Oh no.
to make a con roll.
No, did I accidentally breathe something in? Oh, come on, my constitution's pretty low, actually.
Because you're old.
I've
gonna
accidentally
make a
pressed
roll
it
for-
twice, they were both fails. I didn't mean to push the roll, but I failed twice.
Okay. You can't really push con rolls in this situation because it's a passive roll, right? It's not something you're actively doing.
Yeah, it's abilities,
So-
isn't it?
Yeah, so you are just sitting there and you see this in horror in slow motion, Professor, as you see his foot land in the sherry and he starts falling towards the box and there's powder everywhere and you just inhale
no.
accidental. And wow, you feel good. Man, you feel fantastic. Within just about 30 seconds. It's this heady rush. You have energy. Wow. This is amazing.
All the pain in his arthritis just went away, like his knees feel amazing. He stands up, he starts walking around, he's like, whoa.
My God, it's a miracle.
Praise the Lord.
This man is healed.
Wow. Suddenly I feel really excited about this seance. Yeah, I'm really into this now. Wow, cool.
Yeah, that's. Look at this, kind of like it's like like if you watch it like one of those funny like silent films, and then like somebody just slips on there, I'll be like, yeah, thought it was gonna happen.
They're an organ playing, a jaunty little tune, as the professor gets up and just starts moving around and looking and reverend. It's just. You don't get any of the cocaine, but the elderly gentleman who was sitting next to the fire also does the sort of inhale, and his eyes get really wide, and he just looks around and goes, "Oh, this is going to be marvelous. Oh, I feel invigorated, darling. We should do these sorts of things more often." And Penelope is just, I'm glad you feel good about this, Matty. What a horrible thing. And she just starts sobbing and calling for Al, and Matty gets up and he's strutting around and he takes some alcohol and downs it in one go, and it's getting into a little bit of a party atmosphere over here.
I must warn you, ma'am. These places aren't the right kind of places. You gotta be careful. These people are excited for something, and I don't think it's the right reasons.
Oh. Not the right kind of places. So, what do you mean? This is where we can speak to the spirits. It's exactly where I want to be. And she's watching Maddie half anxiously as he's jauntily moving around the room.
I think the Holy Spirit is the only spirit that's going to fill that void in your heart right now, ma'am. I don't think that what you're going to get here is going to truly satisfy your soul.
Oh, don't worry, we're Catholics. And she
Right.
smiles broadly at you.
Theo, if he hears that, goes, oh, bo.
And a good day to you.
He's Orthodox Christian, and when you're Greek and Orthodox, like Catholics, you might as well be a Muslim or Jewish or something else. They're like, no, what is that? That's not Christian. What's that?
Professor, as you're jauntily moving around the room, and Lee, you see the professor must have gotten some of that inhale because he's suddenly up and moving about really energetically. But Professor, you can give me a spot hidden.
Fail 97.
Oh. Got something.
All right, so you're just moving around, looking at things. There's this row of Walter's Penny Dreadfuls. He was a very, very, very prolific author. He wrote a good 85 serialized Penny Dreadfuls, which is more than any other author managed to put out. And you just kind of casually glance over them, and then, oh, look, there's some Conan Doyle and a few other things, and you keep moving around the room.
Taking everything in.
Mm-hmm. Looking at all the things, enjoying the lack of pain in your knees.
Yeah. Bouncing around on my arthritis has gone away in my knees. In 10 minutes I'll probably be feeling the pain, but taking in all the things, looking at every single thing in the room individually. Yeah.
Nick drifts over to you, Jack, and she rolls up a cigarette. Do you really believe any of this malarkey?
he like he pulls out a match, and like helps her light it, and he kind of just chuckles like this deep gravel voice. He's like, "Not really. I'm just here to see what's going on. Just I'm just paid to watch right now."
Well, I was hoping for something new and exciting. Drinking and parties and drugs are all getting so cliche. I'm so dreadfully bored. But nothing's really happening yet.
I mean, besides
Except,
an old man getting happy, I guess.
yes, that was a good amount of money, she says, looking over at you, Lee.
He's kind of.
Don't worry about it, Dave. The boss will pay for it. He's good. He's good for things like that. So Lee's probably gonna try to move away from this situation as quickly as possible. So he's gonna maybe pull a little magnifying glass out of his pocket and spin around and just have a little look around the room, point at a random object and go, "Oh, I got it. One moment." And he walks off into the other side of the room to get away from everyone that's there.
Okay. You move off to the other side of the room over by this massive grandfather clock. And as you move off to the side of the room, all of a sudden the clock strikes 10. It's loud. Boom. Boom. And you're right next to it, so it's pretty loud. It makes your head hurt a little bit. And Professor, it is the loudest thing you have ever heard, and it also makes the room look like it's shaking to you a little bit.
Okay. So even though he's like loving life, he still gets a fright. He's like, oh, 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 oh. Okay, an old man, a loud noise still scares him out to his heart, and his heart's already going boom, boom, boom. It goes boom for a second.
And as the clock strikes 10, there is a woman standing in the room. She is short, about 5'3". She's wearing Victorian-style black mourning attire, as in mourning for the dead, with long sleeves with lace at the cuffs and lace at her throat and a little cameo brooch pinned to it. She's got a veil over her face, so you can't see really anything other than her long white fingers. Her hands are half covered by the lace. And she's just standing there. You did not see her enter the room. Jack, you and Nick were over by the door. You didn't see the door open. She's just there.
Yeah, he looks at the door, looks at that, and kind of looks at her feet. See there's like maybe a trap door. She just kind of come up, or he just kind of like looks at Nick and kind of like raises an eyebrow. Did you see the old lady come in?
Oh, that's the first interesting thing that's happened in this entire evening. She looks a little bit more alert. I didn't see anything.
All right,
And
well,
Pastor and Lee, you also did not see her come into the room. She's just there, near the clock.
Odd things happening in this place.
Oh, you must be Madam Mina. Oh, it's so wonderful to see you. I'm just thank you so much for inviting us here. Says Penelope, who is now clasping her hands and looking beseechingly at the woman. And this woman, whose face is covered, moves very slowly over to an ornate chair with carved arms in front of the fireplace, and she gently settles herself into it. And she sighs deeply, and she pulls up the veil over her face, back over her hair, And you see a woman who must be in her 80s, which is fairly impressive for this time period, especially a Victorian woman. She's got very delicate features, very high forehead, piercing blue eyes that seem to sort of look right through you as she looks around the room. And she just says, "Good evening, everyone. I am Madam Mina. Thank you for attending." And she holds out her hands to the empty seats and says, "Please, take a seat. We are ready to begin."
Do there appear to be enough seats for everyone in the room?
Yes.
I'll
It's
sit-
almost like it was exactly seats set out for the exact number of people who were going to be here tonight.
I'll take the furthest seat away from her.
Okay. So directly across from her, since it's a circle.
I'll go
All
back
right.
to the comfy seat because I'm still an old man. It's been 10 minutes. Maybe the pain's starting to come back in my knees. I'm like, oh, better sit down.
Yeah.
And I go
You're
back
starting
the
to feel a
comfy
little
chair.
creaky again. Yeah, plus the noise from the clock and her sudden appearance startled you.
I think it's going to sober me up really fast as well. I'm like, oh shit,
Mm-hmm.
and then so I'll sit back down in the comfiest looking chair. If the really old couple aren't already, they were on a couch. I understand.
They
That
were on
might-
the couch.
I would assume that's probably maybe one of the comfiest ones as well because they were the old couple. They would have thought the same. So whatever the next comfiest chair is, I'm in it.
Okay. What about Lee and Jack?
Lee's gonna give him a hand, going wherever he wants to go. I'm losing this accent so bad. I'm going all around America.
Totally.
Yeah. So, yo, old geezer, come here. I'll give you a hand onto your seat.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay, son. Thank you. I appreciate it, but I'm fine. I can manage myself. I'm just a little old and arthritic in the knees, but don't you worry. It's okay. Thank you though.
And Nick drifts over and takes a seat on the couch next to the elderly couple.
Yeah, Jack just sits wherever there's a free spot, and he just keeps in like a look at the old lady and the butler. Then he turns to the back door, and he just kind of like, hmm. So it's like it's when the old lady got in here. Was there any difference? Like did a butler react to anything, or was this something like, he's used to this, or?
And he reacted not at all. Like the perfect, proper butler. Not a single expression on his face.
Yeah, he just He just kind of just takes note of that, and mentally it's like, all right, and he just waits to see what this old lady could do.
Mm-hmm. So she looks up as you all sit down, and she nods and says, "That will be all, Andrews." And the butler bows slightly and exits the room, closing the door behind him. And Madam Mina looks at all of you. She looks at the typewriter. And then she smiles and says, "Thank you all for attending this evening. It will be a very special event, I'm sure. Yes, Walter has been very helpful lately." And she has this sweet sort of smile on her face when she says Walter's name. "I trust we will be able to speak to those you have lost. And, well, perhaps learn more about the realm beyond. Now, we must all join hands." And so she extends her hands. And Professor, you're actually on one side of her. So you're off to her left in that comfy chair, and then on her other side is the elderly gentleman, Maddie, who takes her hand, and you all link hands in this circle. And Jack, you're holding hands with Nick, which might be a pleasant experience for you. Who knows? And Madam Mina, settles back in her chair and she says, "Remember, you cannot break the circle. We must remain in contact at all times, or everything could be lost." And you can all make me occult rolls.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see if I can.
Bit of a specialty of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I got an extreme success.
All right,
Extreme?
Failed.
yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
occult? Is that it?
Yes.
Cold,
Okay.
cold green one, I guess. I got I got a 5, 2, and 1. Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't even have it. It's like I failed. I'm like, eh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I failed as well.
Okay, so Professor, you're the only one who really understands exactly what she's saying. And it's because you remember spiritualism in your younger days as well. You went to your fair share of seances and into spirit readings, and you know that what a medium essentially does is they are relying on the essence of those around them to keep them anchored to the real world. Because if a medium's spirit goes into the spirit world and doesn't have the energy to draw the spirit back, the medium could be lost forever. You've seen mediums pass out. You know of multiple situations where mediums actually died during a seance because the circle was broken, or because they didn't have enough people there to keep their body and their spirit anchored to the real world.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I get that.
So when
she's... Sorry, go ahead.
Mhm.
I was going to say...
When she says don't break the... When she says don't break the circle, she means that you will kill her potentially because she is so old, especially if you break the circle.
So I've
She
probably even
needs you.
seen it before. People go... the word would be catatonic. They would go catatonic, right? And that would that can end up in a coma and death, I suppose, in some cases. So
Yep.
yeah, I'll look at... So she's on my right.
She's to your right.
Yeah, so I'll look at the person on my left and be like, you must not let go. I've been at seances before. It's very important. You must not break the chain. Please hold on to my hand very tight, and I'll take them by the wrist. I'll do one of them, like the warrior handshake. I'll grab them like that. Yeah.
So all of you will hear the professor because he is a little bit older and tends to speak a bit louder to compensate for his hearing. You hear him talk about how important it is, and Madame Mina nods and says, "Yes, this is of uttermost importance. Now, are we ready?" And she takes in a deep breath. And there's a sudden burst of thunder and a flash of lightning outside the windows behind you. And Madame Mina closes her eyes and she says, Walter? Walter, are you there, darling? Come to me. Speak to us. Walter? And then click, clack, click, clack, as the typewriter keys begin to move and words begin to appear on that sheet of paper. Click, clack. Here. Heh. Literally types out heh. Walter? Yes. Click. Thank you for joining us, Walter, on this most important night. The veil is thin between our world and the spirit world on this All Hallows Eve, and we are grateful for your presence. And you hear click, clack, click, clack. Well, get on with it. And Madame Mina's brow furrows a little bit. All of you can make me spot hidden rolls as this is happening.
Oh, I'm not taking my eyes off that typewriter, like.
Mm-hmm.
Fail.
Fail for me too.
Wow, everybody's like, I don't see nothing.
Okay.
I mean, I'm at the other end of the table, so.
You can get a bonus die, Professor, because you are specifically looking at the typewriter.
Okay, we'll just roll 1d10.
Yeah, just roll a d10.
7, so it's exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
No,
So
yeah, I got an 84, so 74, sorry. But yeah, still a fail.
Still a fail.
Well,
Okay.
I haven't rolled mine. Sorry, I was away.
Okay. All right.
Where's Spot hidden?
Top right.
Yep. It's roller green.
Yeah.
All right. So you don't see anything. So you're looking at her. You're looking at the typewriter. It's this click clacking, and you've never seen anything like this before, Professor. At the seances you've been to, you've seen spirit enter a medium, this sort of essence enter a medium and speak through her. You've seen tables move and spirit boards, but you've never seen a typewriter do this. And the thing is, for all of you, the weird part, she's still holding hands with the old man and with the professor. Her body is nowhere near the typewriter, and her feet have not moved.
Where's that butler at?
He left the room.
Yeah, so the first thing Theo exclaims is Planet Yemo when he sees this, because he's never seen anything like this before. And then he quickly hushes because he understands he doesn't want to interrupt the ceremony of the seance. But yeah, he's just he's absolutely shocked. He's never seen anything like this. But although he's experienced seances before and mediums talking in the voice of the deceased, he's never seen a typewriter do it. He's never seen a typewriter be the medium. Very strange.
As you make that exclamation, there's another click clack, and you hear, or you read as you're looking at the typewriter, "Shut up, Theo." And I think that's a sand roll for you.
It must be nice.
Yes.
Okay.
How the hell does this thing know me?
Success on the sanity roll.
Okay, so I'm not going to take any sand from you for that, but it's a bit disturbing.
Shut up.
This typewriter telling you to shut up.
I do what this typewriter tells me and I shut up.
I seen this bogus baloney many times before. I know that it's Mr. Andrews in a different room and a mirror, and that's all that's happening.
And then there's another click clack, and it just says, "Idiot. Moron."
Must be talking about someone else, because it can't be me.
And then there's another click clack. Seen any ghosts recently? Idiot.
Lee starts to kind of retreat within himself and become a less talkative. He doesn't really want to antagonize what he thinks isn't real anyway. He still doesn't believe, but he's pretty sure there's some mirror technology that has this prism in front of everyone in the room, and Mr. Andrews is just sitting at a typewriter.
So you just sort of retreat into yourself a little bit, and Madame Mina clicks her tongue behind her teeth and says, "Now, Walter, dear, no need to be rude. These nice people have come for your gateway into the spirit world, so let me open up. Use your power, Walter, so that I may contact the spirits." And there's a click-clack. Fine. And even reading it, you can almost hear the tone of voice. This cranky old man. And Madame Mina closes her eyes and rolls her head back. And she takes in a deep breath and says, "Spirits of the world beyond, we come seeking comfort and last respects. Oh, is there anyone here who wishes to speak to the dead?" And you hear Penelope go, "Oh, is my owl here? Owl, darling?" and you hear Madame Mina say to the ether, "Walter, is there an owl?" And there's a click-clack yes. And then Madame Mina says, "Al, come to me. Speak through me, Al." And she takes in a deep breath, and then you hear, "Ruff, ruff, ruff."
I guess
And
it's her dog.
Penelope goes, "Oh, Al, darling, it must be you. It sounds so much like you exactly. Oh, I'm so sorry I left the gate open. I didn't mean to. I didn't take my medication in the morning. Oh, Al, can you forgive me?" And there's another barking sound coming from Madame Mina's mouth.
I look at Nick and I'm like, okay, I didn't know we'd come for a dog show though. I never expect that.
This woman's barking.
That was...
Are you kidding me? This woman here is crying a Hudson River, and she's doing it over a dog? I had to listen to that shit earlier. I can't believe this shit.
Sonny, I'm gonna ask you to watch your language. A loss is a loss.
Someone really fancies their animals sometimes.
Well,
Nick
I don't want to
is-
know about the dog relationship.
Nick rolls her eyes. "Oh, well, at least it's interesting." And Penelope is looking intently at Madame Mina, and you can see her eyes are kind of shining, Professor, just with tears, but also with joy. And she's, "Oh, Al, is it all right to... Is it... Are we okay?" And you hear a click-clack on the typewriter saying, "Dumb." Heh. And Madame Mina, without opening her eyes, just says, "Al wants you to know he forgives you. He knows it wasn't your fault. And it's okay for you to move on now. And get that little corgi puppy you've been looking at. He won't be offended."
Don't do it.
What a
Corgis are the devil.
crackpot answer. I could have got that information from any street preacher. It wouldn't have mattered. This is just a load of baloney.
Shh.
Click,
Hush.
clack, "You're baloney."
Hush.
And Penelope takes in a deep breath, and she sighs, and she looks happy. And she looks at all of you with just joy in her eyes and says, "Oh, I feel so much better. Oh, I've been in such a state the past month." And you see her husband is just sort of nodding with these big eyes. And Madame Mina exhales and opens her eyes and says, "Al is no longer with us. Thank you. Is there any other spirit we wish to contact this evening? Anyone?"
Well, if no one else wants, I'll skip the queue. The boss wants to try and speak to his daughter. So if you could get her on the line, that would be great.
Operator.
What is her name?
I don't
speak
know.
to
I don't
spirits,
remember
dear.
logistics. One of these guys probably will know. You guys are probably here to speak for the same reason.
Yeah, it's Stephanie.
Stephanie. All right. Walter, darling. We are looking for a Stephanie. Last name begins with C. Yes. Walter, is she here? And you hear a click, clack, click, clack. "This is getting boring." Click, clack.
I like Walter.
And Nick mutters, "I'm saying the same thing." But Madame Mina inhales, And everyone can give me a spot hidden roll again. See if you actually pass this time.
Okay.
Oh, there's a success.
Fumble.
Oh my god.
Success for me. I got a
Okay.
I failed, but I didn't
50 over
fumble. That's a good
55,
thing.
yeah.
Okay, so
Success.
we have 2 successes, a fail, and a fumble. So we'll deal with the successes first. Because on the fail, Jack, you're not really looking too much at the typewriter. You're more focused on how is she supposedly channeling things? Is someone feeding her information, trying to figure that out? But the 2 of you who succeeded, so Professor and Lee, the typewriter, as it clicks, you didn't notice anything before, but as it's clicking now, you see just what looks like this faint greenish mist.
Like I saw before.
Mm-hmm. Only it's kind of swirling in between and around the keys. It's barely perceptible. And you would dismiss this, Professor, as a bit of the cocaine high, maybe, except for the fact that you last saw it before you inhaled the cocaine. But it's just sort of slithering through the keys. And you both know, just looking at it, it's not moving the way smoke would move if someone had set off like a little canister or something inside the typewriter. It's moving like it's on its own. It's uncomfortable. And it makes your skin turn cold. The way it surrounds each key as it click, clack, click, clack. So I like sanity rolls from 2 of you. Sometimes, folks, passing spot hidden rolls in Call of Cthulhu is not a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the stuff is
Suckers.
not do.
Oh, we haven't gotten to you, Pastor Fumble.
Fail for
Just
me
you
on
wait.
the sanity.
Okay.
Or just the green one underneath sanity.
Yes.
Ooh,
That's
yay.
success.
Check you out.
Okay. So you only lose 1, Lee. Just you feel uncomfortable looking at this green smoke. But Professor, you lose 3 points of sanity on a D3. Seeing this smoke.
Sorry, I lose
It's-
I lose D3, did you say, or 3? Oh, you rolled.
You lost 3 on
you
the
rolled
D3.
3 on the
Mhm.
D3, nice.
Yep. So this is bad. It looks to you, Professor, with that sand loss like maybe ectoplasm. But it shouldn't be writhing around a typewriter. You've usually seen it before around the medium. So that makes you very uncomfortable. Pastor Fumble, you see this green smoke around the keys, but what you see is it rises and it coalesces and it forms what looks like small insects. Just this cloud of small green misty insects floating around and in and above and below this typewriter, just forming and then unforming and then forming and unforming, and you swear you hear a bzzz emanating from the typewriter as the click clack continues. And so that's going to be a sanity roll for you. And this is not a D3 sand loss if you fail.
Ooh. Oh.
Guess you failed.
I agree.
Excellent. Okay, so you are going to lose 4.
Oh.
So close to bout of madness. So as that's happening, I think your involuntary reaction there, Brew, is just sort of a startled cry because you're not expecting this, and just the noise is so real, and this cloud of insects is terrifying, rising out of the typewriter and disappearing and reforming. You've never seen anything like this.
Oh my god.
Language. But Madam Mina takes in this deep inhale again, and you see, Pastor, that she inhales some of these insects, these pale green, misty insects. She does. And her eyes are closed, and she says, Stephanie? Stephanie C. Stephanie, yes. Stephanie Chandler is here. Stephanie, you may take control. And you hear this kind of teenage voice saying, where am I? Where am I? It's so dark. Daddy? Daddy? Where am I? And it's this very distinct teenage girl's voice emanating from Madame Mina's mouth.
That's right. She needs to go to the light.
I just gestured to
Help.
cross myself, but I don't actually do that because then I would be letting go of people's hands, and I'm not doing that actually.
No, you just have your
Hands tight, mouth shut.
Do any of you speak to her?
I tell her to go to the light.
What light? There's no light. There's no light. Where's my daddy? Daddy?
The Lord is your father, child. Go to the Lord.
I don't think that's what she's talking about, Reverend.
It's so cold. It's so... I can't see anything. But then it's so dark in here. Why is it so dark? It's been so long. I've been here so long.
How long do you think you are where you're at? Do you remember where you come from or how you got there?
I don't know how long it feels like forever. There was, and there's a click clack of the typewriter, and it just says, "Get on with it." And the voice says, I was in the car, and then it was dark, it was rain, and we went too fast, and fell. The car went over into the water. It was so cold and wet water. I couldn't swim. Daddy, I'm sorry. I know I should have gone to swimming lessons. I should have. I'm sorry. So sorry.
Your father forgives you, child. I'll speak up now. Your father forgives you, child. He sent us here to tell you. There's no need to be sorry. You can be at peace now. Like the Reverend said, you can go to the Lord.
So,
Oh, wait, he was just gonna ask us like, sweetheart, do you know where you were driving at the last location?
I was going to party. A party? Whose party? It was Maxine on Long Island. We were going party. Oh. And you see actual tears rolling down Madame Mina's face as this girl is talking. Professor, if you want to persuade her that her father forgives her and it's okay, you can give me a hard persuade roll. And it's hard because of your colleague over there laughing.
What? Who's laughing? Geist. Scatty Geist. Scatty. That's shut up.
Don't have any idea what this guy's trying to say to me. I've got a baldy. Old geezer won't even let me help him down to his seat.
Rena, don't you know about a German? What's the German for shut up?
I don't know German.
You don't?
Do
Alright.
Google. Yeah, just Google and just put it on there, Mike.
No, that's
Well-
he'll say it in Greek, or German, and in English. Shut up.
Mhm.
Right, and you want a persuade roll, and you want a hard. My
Yep.
days.
Hard.
I got a success. So, what's better, push the roll here or luck for the hard success?
Halt the clapper.
Clapper.
I'm gonna try and push the roll. I'll.
Oh my God,
So
this is great.
pushing the roll, I'm gonna call her Steph, which is nobody calls her Steph. Only her father calls her Steph, but her father told me that. So I'm gonna push the roll by calling her private name with her father. Her father knows her as. That's how we
Okay.
push it. So let's have an extreme success.
Whoa,
Nice. So she calms down, like she stops those kind of hiccuping sobs when you call her by the private name. And she's, okay, oh, tell him I'm sorry. And I'll try. Don't see any light, but I'll try.
He knows you're sorry, child.
And Madam Mina says in her own voice, "You can go. It's all right." And then there's a click, clack, balderdash.
Hey, the boss wants to speak to that dame if it's his daughter, so you hold tight where you're at. I'll get the boss to come down and maybe he'll speak to you. I don't believe it's actually you. You don't sound like their kid, but...
You say that as the voice kind of recedes, and the two of you who saw just the mist, you see the mist swirling a little bit faster around these keys. And there's a sudden rapid clicking of the typewriter, click clack, click clack, click clack, click clack, and it's just typing this heh 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 over and over and over, and the paper's rapidly running out of room. But it's just this, you can almost hear that harsh clipped laugh as the typewriter clicks, and then the clock strikes midnight. Somehow it strikes midnight. This loud bong
Question.
when it was just 10 p.m.
Yeah, that was my question.
It
Just
is
10
now
PM.
It is now suddenly midnight, according to the clock. And then all of the lights burn out instantly. The fire, the lamps, everything. It is cold. It is dark. And you are suddenly somewhere else. And shall we take a short break there? All right, so you find yourself, as the clock somehow strikes 12, somewhere else. You are in your seats in a dark, empty place. Dark except for a greenish glow being emitted from the typewriter on the table in your center of your circle. No other light, no other sound, just this greenish glow and the darkness around you as you all make me sanity rolls.
Yay.
Oh,
Hard
success.
no, that's
Hard
good.
success from me and Brute
Hard success.
on Chrissy boy.
Ooh, I succeeded. I don't care. At least I succeeded. That's all that matters.
But it doesn't matter because it might not be a good thing.
Okay, so you all lose 1 point of sanity.
Ooh.
And I believe that takes someone down.
I'm at a 45.
No, not quite. You're down to 45. Okay,
I'm not-
so keep an eye on your 1/5, guys.
Yeah.
No
so
one's there
mine
yet.
Yeah, mine started at 45, so I
Mhm.
think that's good. So,
51 to
is
55.
this is going on? Everybody's kind of like, freaking out and kind of
Mhm.
looking around. Are we still holding hands or no?
That's the next roll. You all need to make me dexterity rolls as you lose a bit of sand and start panicking a little bit from being in this other place.
Wow, an extreme.
We'll fail for
Excellent.
for me.
Extreme.
Roll a 3.
Roll
The
20's
one
being
guy
nice.
that told us to hold our hands tight failed.
The professor failed.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Reverend, you passed.
I did.
Okay, I'm going to make dex rolls for the others. Okay. All right, so, Professor, you're gone. And Penelope is also gone.
Gone.
Both of you drop hands in the circle because you're startled, you're somewhere else, you're panicked. And you find yourselves, the two of you, in another place entirely. This place is brighter somehow. There's shifting vistas around you, almost like theater sets. You're standing in the dark, but behind you there's a frozen tundra, and then there's a jungle, and then it's the dark, misty moors, and it's just shifting back and forth for you and Penelope. And that goddamn typewriter sitting on the table between the two of you, just click, clack, click, clack, click, clacking away. So, back in the circle, Madamina snaps at all of you, rejoin! And all of you, because you passed your dex rolls, you are able to rejoin the circle. Especially Nick, who rolled a 1. And the circle is now rejoined as the typewriter begins to click, clack, click, clack, type out, open the way, open the way, open the way. Yes, Oliver?
Am I simultaneously seeing the same words in my
No.
where I am and seeing the typewriter? No? Okay.
There's a
You're
typewriter
about-
there, but what it's typing out to you
Mm-hmm.
is it says, idiot.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then you look at it and you see this heh. And Penelope is looking around in panic and terror. And she just pulls up against the table, just sort of holding to it. Oh, what happened? And you see the typewriter is now typing out something in Greek. There are no keys for Greek on this typewriter, Professor.
Mm-hmm.
But it is typing things out in Greek.
Ooh.
So, back in the circle that has been rejoined, Madam Mina is staring intently at the typewriter. Walter, what's happening? Walter, take us home. This isn't what you're supposed to be doing. Walter? But there's no answer. Just click clack, click clack, click clack.
Madam, I
Ma'am,
think you've been
I
fooled.
Ma'am, I want to get off this ride. Can you stop this now?
I don't know what's happening. I don't understand. Walter?
This here was a wolf in sheep's clothing, and you fell for it, ma'am.
How
And now
far
we're
is-
all doomed.
So how far is the so did we get up and kind of just like get a smaller circle standing up now, or?
No,
Oh,
you're
so-
still in your seats. Unless you try to get everybody to stand up. No one's touching the typewriter or the table.
Okay. So and there's 2 empty chairs, right? Where the professor and
Yes.
the Penelope, and how far was Penelope or the professor away from me?
So the professor had Lee in between you and him. And then Penelope was on the other side of Madam Mina.
Okay, so what I want to do is I want to stick over my foot, hold a chair out closer to me, see if I can just
Mhm.
maneuver right in front of me, and I want to
Okay.
kick the chair right at the typewriter and see if I can knock it down and like maybe it'll knock something loose and it's like because this
Mhm.
might be like a weird like you say smoke and mirrors to see see if it something what
Mhm.
happened.
I like that. Give me a dex roll.
All right. Nope.
Nope. So you reach out with your foot and you're trying to hook your foot around the chair, and it's just it's so hard to maneuver it without breaking hands in the circle. Do you want to push the roll?
Can I
Yes.
help him as well?
How would you assist?
Well, I'm on the other side, so I can see he's
Mhm.
doing it. So I join in from my
Okay.
side, trying to hook the chair to throw it in the middle.
Okay, so how this is going to work is Lee, give me a dex roll, and if you succeed, you will give a bonus die to Jack on his push.
Ooh, he does
So-
succeed.
Okay, so give me that pushed roll with a bonus die. Keep in mind that pushed rolls that are failed are bad, and you cannot spend luck on them.
Okay, so what I do is I press the green, then the purple, or does
No, just push the purple.
okay. Okay, so 83.
That's a fail.
77,
all
wasn't it?
They're all fails. Okay, so Lee manages to start pushing the chair in your direction with his very dexterous ankles, and you're trying to latch onto it, but unfortunately, you start to slip out of your seat, Jack. And as you slip, you drop hands with Lee, and you are gone.
Oh shit.
Professor, Jack suddenly appears in this space.
What a year, mo.
And Madam Mina snaps at you, Lee, to grab hands with Nick quickly. And so you grab onto hands with Nick because you passed your dex roll. I will let that ride. And it is dark, and this typewriter is still clicking, and now Jack is gone. You don't know where Jack, the professor, and Penelope are. The old gentleman is crying out for his wife. He's looking around. Your circle is fairly small. And the typewriter starts typing out. So, Lee, it's your fault, isn't it? Your fault your partner died, huh? On the beat?
It's not my fault. Not all of the doctors said I was fine, and it had nothing to do with any of my actions on that day, and I really
Sure.
don't appreciate you bringing this up.
Mhm.
And where's everyone else in this circle? Are you taking them?
Give me a sand roll. As
Okay.
whatever's in this typewriter knows what you did.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to lose 3 points of sanity.
Oh.
Am I taking these off right, by the way? I'm taking them off the number in the middle.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So, back in this other place, Jack, you have just appeared. Professor, you've noticed that Jack is here, but perhaps more interesting to you is the typewriter now typing things in Greek.
Do you need me to make a roll, or do you want me to try and work it out with my actual Greek? Because my real life's not as high as 45%. It's like 25.
Yeah, give me a roll.
Yeah,
Give me a Greek roll.
Hey, hard success.
All right. So you look at the typewriter and it confuses the hell out of you because there are no keys in Greek. But it's still typing in Greek, and it's saying things like, the master of the way. Open the gate. The master is coming. and it's these little phrases over and over, and you notice that with the hard success that there's kind of a rhythm to them, just the way these things are typed out and the clicking of the typewriter, this click, clack, click, clack, click, clack, click, clack. It's almost like a chant, almost.
Rhythmic like a chant in Greek. He's talking to me. If it's in Greek. And he's saying, open the way for the master.
Professor, what is going on? You know, he walks over
Jack.
to the professor and...
But I don't know what's going on. Curious Spade, Mr. Spade. Where are we? You tell me what's going on. The typewriter is talking in Greek and there's no Greek letters on it. What's going on, Mr. Spade? Please.
Well, all I know is that you two let go hands, you and the lady over there, y'all just poofed. And I guess...
I was startled. I'm sorry, where are we?
You now see the phrase, the one who walks in darkness, the Lord of the Wasp.
Ooh, that does not sound good.
Appearing. And as that phrase comes out, you hear off in the dark somewhere, as this vista now shifts around you, you hear a shuffling sound and a...
Is that for them or us? Like, because we're in the bright area. Or...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're in this shifting vista where things look different from moment to moment, and into the depths beyond, you hear this shuffling sound, and this.
Like I'll pull out a flashlight just in case, and to see if it starts working. Like click click.
The torch works, but it doesn't go very far.
I look at the professor. It's like, you have any idea what's going on, Professor? I'm like, and he's like looking around, kind of shining around, and he pulls out his gun, and he's kind of just looking around. It's like
the professor starts to back away from the sound, and he's intently looking in that direction to see if he can see anything from where the sound came from. And he's shaking. He's a bit scared.
Well, we'll get to what you see in a minute, because back in the void, Reverend, the typewriter is click-clacking again, and you hear Madam Mina muttering something to herself, or maybe to Walter, you're not sure, but you've seen Lee panic a little bit and talk about how it's not his fault, and he was cleared, and all of these things. And Reverend, you get on the typewriter, it says, Nelson, heaven ain't real. Heaven ain't real, but hell is. And that's where you're going.
The Lord is my shepherd. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
Mixing two separate Bible passages. So give me a sand roll. And this typewriter is just click-clacking merrily away, but the paper doesn't seem to run out.
It's a fail.
Okay.
However, can you spend luck on sanity rolls?
You cannot.
Oh.
You cannot. It's
Never
one
mind
of the
then.
things you... Pulp Cthulhu, some talents yes, but regular no. Alright, so you lose 4 points of sanity, and as you lose these 4 points, you feel heat building up around you. It's getting hotter, just you. Hotter and hotter, and you swear you hear the crackling of flames all around you. And Madam Mina's grip tightens on yours, Lee. She says, I think maybe I can get us back. I think, but we have to, we can't break the circle. We can't break the circle. Just, you have to help me. I need your strength, your essence, to get us home. All of you.
My essence goes to the Lord Father God, not to you, witch.
Arlington.
Do you want to be stuck in this place? The outer darkness?
No, but it is by the power of our Father that we will get out, not your power. Do not claim this victory is yours.
Won't be a victory if we don't get out.
I'm gonna encourage the husband that is still there, that Penelope is probably in the same place, and then if he goes, then she might come back. So if he slips off his seat, he might be able to sacrifice himself to save the one he loves.
Okay. He nods. All right, I want to go home with my Penelope, and oh, this is dreadful. This is so dreadful. I'm starting to think that wasn't Al. And so Madam Mina tightens her grip, and she begins to chant something under her breath. Back in this other place with the shifting vistas and the typewriter saying things in Greek, the shuffling sound gets louder, and you see stumbling out of what was a forest and what is now some kind of dark mountain range is a creature wrapped in rotting bandages that are sliding down its body. There's one eye slit. You can see this red eye through it. There's no mouth. The stench is unbearable of the grave and of death. And it is stumbling towards you.
I turn and run away from it.
First, you make me sanity roll.
Yeah, no doubt.
All three of you who are there, which means Penelope, Jack, and the professor.
Failed.
Failed?
Succeeded, thank God. All right, there you go.
Okay, so you only lose one, Jack. Professor, you lose 5.
Oi! Right, now.
Yeah,
Make
the
that
occultist
roll.
is messing up. That's like the occultist is messing up, man. I'm like,
Because he knows too
I
much.
am 46 out of 55, so I've lost 9
Okay.
total.
Oh. So, yeah, you're not 46 out of 55, so you're not quite to your 1/5 yet. So make me that int roll.
Oh yeah, 5 at once is an int roll, isn't it? Oh.
Yep.
This is where you want to be dumb as well.
Mm-hmm.
Failed, yes.
oh, there you go. You're like,
Oh, you failed it. Okay, so
or like,
your mind refuses to accept that what you're seeing is real. All right, this is the one time when you want to fail your int check. Passing its back.
yeah.
So you do not accept that this is real. Nope.
Alright.
Not real. You're hallucinating or something. You cannot grasp that this is real, and it protects you because you're not engaging with it. Penelope is okay for the moment. And you both stagger back. Professor, you said you wanted to get away.
Yeah.
We are now going into initiative.
Oh no.
Split between the two planes. I've already written out I have already written out Dex order, so it's already good to go. And we are at the top of the round with Lee, who has the highest Dex. Lee, Madam Mina is beginning to chant, and you feel this tingling electrical sensation running up your body. And on your turn, give me a POW roll.
Fail.
Failed it.
Yeah.
Madam Mina grimaces, and you still feel that crackling, but the coldness goes away. Is there anything else you would like to do on your turn?
I kind of want to see if I can get some of them back So I'm gonna try and throw the chair at the guy that's married. I can't remember his name.
Matt
Daddy?
is what you
Aye.
heard, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw a chair and try and make them break off the circle with my foot.
Okay, that's an interesting strategy. Let's see how it works out for you. All right, give me a dex roll.
Fail.
Okay, you hook your foot around the chair again and try to kick it, but you don't want to break the circle yourself, and so you're not able to really get enough strength behind it to kick it in his direction. Unless
There's
you'd like
no
to
one
push
else
the roll.
holding my other hand, is there?
Nick.
Nikki. Yeah, Nick.
Yeah.
Nikki.
Oh,
Nick the
is.
socialite is. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, because the circle is whole.
Let's push. Let's push the roll. Let's go for it, sure. So I'll do it first, and then
Mhm.
hey, hard success.
Okay. So how did you push it?
So my hand's on top of Matt's,
Your hand is on Madame Mina's.
and who's my other hand on?
Nick.
Nick.
Right. So my hand's below Nick's, and I maneuver the chair with both of our hands by clasping his, by grabbing it and then controlling it onto my foot and lob the chair towards.
Okay. All right, so you lob the chair at him, and I am going to give him a roll as it hits him. First, do damage. Let's say 1d4 plus your damage bonus if you have one for lobbing a chair at an old man.
Everybody's a weapon.
That's pretty decent damage for flicking the chair, like.
What should I? Well, how do I? Right, just brawl, yeah, brawl.
You're not doing brawl because you already hit him. Just roll a d4. So forward
okay.
/ roll 1d4.
1.
Okay, so it just sort of glances off of his knee, but I'm going to make a roll for him to see if he manages to hold on. And he does with a 0-3. So he now has a little bit of blood rolling down his temple, and he's looking at you like, I say, young man, that was very rude.
I'm doing your wife, old geezer.
And it is now the Reverend's turn. So, Reverend, you just saw Lee kicking a chair at this old man, but first make me a POW roll at the start of your turn.
I fail.
Okay? You feel the same sort of cold, staticky feeling, but you see Madame Mina grimace again, and nothing really seems to happen to you. So, what do you do?
What is wrong with you, son? How you just gonna lob a chair at an old man?
I think he'll be happier if he's back with his wife.
You don't know where he went. We gotta trust in God right now to get us out of this situation.
Look, I believe in this new thing. It's called science, where I see something, it happens. And what I seen happen was someone come off a chair and they got replaced. If he goes, we might get someone else back.
Placed. They got lost. Where are they at? Who came and took that place? You got eyes, son. Use them.
You see the typewriter is now interspersing the phrases of Master of the Way, Open the Gate, things like that, with Egypts. And you feel the flames and the heat around you, Reverend, get hotter.
I'm gonna try and kick the table that the typewriter is on.
Okay, that's going to be a hard dex roll because you kind of have to stretch out and try and kick, lift your butt off the seat and try and kick and hold your balance.
It's a fail, but
Okay. You're pushing the roll?
or I can use luck.
Up to you.
34 of
You
it.
have a lot of luck.
No, because it's hard. It would be more than that. It'd be what, 50, 59? So is my math right there?
Yes.
I'm gonna use 59 luck.
I think that's the biggest luck burn I've ever seen.
I'm doing it.
Are you muted, Rena? We don't hear you, Rena.
You're mute. You mute.
You
Oh,
spend
that's funny.
59 luck, and you kick the typewriter. The typewriter shakes, the table rocks, and the typewriter falls to the ground. And you see it cracks slightly, and there's this green kind of goo that begins to slip out of the crack in the typewriter. And you still hear that click, clack, click, clack, click, clack. Only now you can't see what it's typing. Because it's on the other side of the table, on the ground. Whatever ground is here in the void.
Work to destroy this typewriter.
Just wondering, does anything happen to our instance of the typewriter when that happens to theirs?
Nothing happens on your end,
Okay.
as far as you can tell, because
Okay.
you are looking away from it. You're
Well, that's
backing
right.
up away.
I'm getting the fuck out there. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I'm backing up toward the typewriter, kind of like gun, kind of like.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens on y'all's turns, because it is now the mummy's turn. As the mummy comes stumbling into this better lit area with the typewriter, and it's going, reaching out. And I'm going to make a roll to see which of the two of you, you, Jack, and Penelope, who are still close to the typewriter, it's going to reach for. On
Damn,
a
I said
1,
that.
it is Penelope. On a 2, it is Jack. That's a 2. So, Jack, the mummy reaches out for you,
Mm-hmm.
and you see this hideous bandage fall from where its mouth should be, and it is going to let out a piercing, hideous shriek. So I need you to make a con roll.
Okay. Oh, good. Con's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, 59.
Okay. You feel something shake in your chest, in your head. It feels like all of your bones are rattling, but you hold yourself together as this creature stumbles towards you. So it is now Madame Mina's turn. I'm going to make a roll for her on something that you wouldn't know about. Okay. You see Madame Mina's face begin to shift a little bit, the two of you who are there. It's almost like she's looking a little bit younger. And it is now the professor's turn, somehow. Professor, you were running away, right?
Absolutely, at top old man speed. Which I believe I've got.
You-
I've got a movement speed of 4. Actually, it's pretty shit.
You stumble off as best as you can towards this shifting vista, which is now, it looks like a beach and an ocean, but a dark, cold beach in a storm. And you find yourself coming up behind the mummy towards the typewriter.
Oh, great. You're
I
still
turned,
in the
I
same
turned
place.
around and go the other way. Oh my god.
And you find yourself coming up towards the typewriter and the mummy.
Yeah,
And I think that's a sand roll.
Yeah, look at the professor. God damn it, do something. You know all this weird occult crap.
Yeah, me said. What is it? A sanity roll.
Sand. Mm-hmm.
Saying.
Success.
Because you realize you can't get
barely.
away.
Right on the 46.
All right, you lose 1 point of sand as you realize you cannot escape, at least not by running. What else would you like to do with your turn? You have an action. You've taken your movement. What would you like to do with your action?
I am going to take a hip flask out of my pocket and throw it at the mummy. I've got a skill.
Okay.
I've got a skill of 10 in throw, but I can't.
Give
think
me a
of
throw
anything.
roll. I love throw rolls.
I'll use 10. I'll use 10 luck. I'll use 10 luck.
Use
I'll
10
hit it.
luck?
Yeah.
Okay. So you use 10 luck and splatter the mummy with whatever is in your flask.
It was Raki.
Okay.
Or like flammable liquid. Yeah, it's like okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's very flammable, actually. Yeah, good point.
Very flammable. All right, Jack.
So
It's your go.
So what he sees this right there. He he backs away from the damn creature and he sees the professor throw that thing in there. So what he does, he grabs a match, lights it, and flicks it right on it.
Okay. You light a match and throw it at the mummy.
Yes.
Give me a fighting brawl.
Yes,
It's going to try and dodge.
Fighting brawl. Oh, that's good. I will push that, and I will use 12 luck.
Okay. So you're using luck versus pushing?
Mm-hmm.
You only need 11.
Okay. So spend your 11 points of luck.
Yep.
And you shove this match into the bandages, which were already dry and brittle and now are covered in flammable liquid, and whoosh, everything is alight.
Nice, Max. I wasn't even thinking that when I threw the hip flask. It was just the only heavy thing I had at hand.
Yeah, and I run around the other side of away from on the table, and I'm sitting there right there, and I'm like, I'm sorry, Penelope, she's by herself. I run around and just go over there and get some distance between the creature.
Okay, you get some distance from the creature. The typewriter is still typing. Click, clack, click, clack. And both of you can give me spot hidden rolls.
Yes, it's okay.
Extreme success for the big professor.
Good, hopefully, Professor. Yeah, I don't see nothing. Hopefully, Professor let me know what it might be. Please, God.
All right. So, Professor, with an extreme, you see that the back of the is beginning to leak some kind of green goo as this that you saw before is widening. And this green goo is now leaking out onto the table.
Out the back of the typewriter.
So we'll see what you do with that. Yeah, the typewriter is leaking.
Ooh, okay.
So we'll see what you do with that information in the next round, because it is now Lee's turn. Lee, give me the power roll.
I believe in you, Cthulhu.
Fail 66, so what I gotta use in luck?
26.
26.
Oh god. 26 luck.
Can I use 26 luck?
Fantastic. I love it when people spend luck. Alright. So you pass your power roll with the luck spend. You feel this tingling sensation and the cold. And Madame Mina says, yes, yes. Okay. I think this is the right way to go. We can do this. We can do this. Together. All right. And you may now act. As you are bolstering Madame Mina with your own power. Are you going to try and hit the old guy again? The typewriter's now on the ground. At your feet.
For entertainment's sake, I hope
Bump
so.
on it. Like, to see if it can crack it.
He whips out his monkey toes and starts typing on it.
You suck, sir. You will go to hell.
So who has a loose hand?
Well,
We're a full
everyone's
circle.
holding hands. Yeah, you've kept the
that's
circle.
here in our circle, right? Okay. Who's next to me again?
Madame and Nick.
You've got the Madame Mina on one side, and you've got Nick on your other.
Nick's going down next.
Oh,
my
God.
God.
I'm testing. I'm testing
All right.
this. So I'm gonna force his chair from underneath him with
Her chair.
her chair. Yeah, Nick's chair.
Next to the one you
Yeah.
cracked onto earlier. It's the
Next
moment.
one. Gee, though. Right. Yeah. So Nikki's going. I'm gonna use Dex then.
Yep. If you're trying to knock her chair out from under her.
Success.
Oh my god. Okay, so you strike out with your other foot and you knock over the chair and she goes falling and her hands slip. I'm gonna roll to see if she can hold on. She does not. And so both of her hands fall. So Reverend, you were holding on to her other hand. And she is gone and Madame Mina screams. The important question is, Lee, do you grab onto the Reverend's other hand?
Yes.
To rejoin the circle. Okay. And you see it looks like Madame Mina has been punched in the gut, the way she sort of bends over. Why did you do that? We needed all the power we could get.
I was bored.
Because I am a chaos gremlin.
Yes, yeah, you gotta love those. You gotta love those.
I thought we would have had more power without her.
And the typewriter just clicks out. Click, clack. Biggest Egypt ever. Heh, heh, heh. You're gonna lose. Heh. And you see this and Madame Mina see this, but you do not, Reverend, because you're on the other side. The typewriter cracks further. So, Reverend, it is now your go. You just saw the Egypt kick Nick's chair, and she is gone, and you are now holding hands with Lee. There are only 4 of you in this circle.
Sir, you said you are a man of science. I see no logic behind what you just did.
Logic is gonna save my own ass. That's what it is.
Pray, therefore, the God of peace to subdue Satan beneath our feet.
All right, give me that power roll.
Ooh,
Hard success.
Nice. So you feel this draw on you. It's not taking anything from you, at least not physically or mentally. You just feel this crackle of the electricity, and Madame Mina takes a deep breath, and she looks a few more years younger. And she's still chanting, but she's giving you the dirtiest look, Lee, that you've ever gotten in your life. Would you like to act, Reverend?
Could I do like an insight check, like a psychology check?
Psychology, yes.
Okay. It's a hard success. What's this wench doing right now? Is she taking my life force?
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, with psychology, what you get from her is she is genuinely attempting to get you home. She truly believes that what she is doing is the right way to do it. But you also get the feeling that she is having to bolster herself somehow. And that she doesn't like what she's doing, but she's doing it because she believes it's the right thing.
Okay, I'm gonna just strongly grip Lee's hand and watch his feet for some sly footwork.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
All right, so back in the other realm, the mummy is now on fire, and it is going to try and grab onto Penelope with its burning hands.
Oh, no.
It grabs her because she is still trying to cling to the table, and the mummy is screaming. You don't know if it's in pain or what, but it grabs onto her around the neck. I'm gonna roll damage. Ouch! Okay. So, Penelope, you see her eyes get big and wide the way someone is when they're strangled, and it looks like her throat is being crushed, and her clothes are catching on fire, and her head rolls back. And then all of a sudden, she's on the ground, and the mummy is no longer there.
Ooh, God, at least it's not me anymore.
And you hear from across at the edge of this circle, you hear a shuffling, and then you hear a good evening.
Dracula?
And it is now.
No way.
Now, it is now Madame Mina's turn.
Welcome to my
And-
friend,
Good
blah, blah,
evening.
blah.
Okay.
Fantastic.
All right. So, Madam Mina's chant gets louder. She got a hard success on her roll, so we'll see what happens with that. It is now the professor's turn, as the mummy is now gone, and you see standing at the edge of wherever it is that you are, with a dark, stormy vista behind him, this pale man with dark hair. He's wearing a dark suit, immaculately tailored. He's wearing a cloak with a pointed collar and a chain across it. And he's standing there with a walking stick, smiling pleasantly at you. And the first thing you can do is make me an intelligence roll.
I don't know if that's gonna be good or bad. You're like, ooh.
Fail.
You failed?
Yeah.
Okay. There's something wiggling away in your brain about this, but you're not sure what it is. It's something. But you see this creature looking at you and smiling pleasantly. The mummy is gone. Penelope is on the ground in front of the table, and Jack has retreated back towards you. The typewriter is still click-clacking away. Appears to be Latin now instead of Greek. What do you do?
Well, I will say, when this gentleman says to me, good evening, I will say, Kalispera, and then I will turn around and go towards the table, and I'm going to kick it down on the corner of the table, trying to break a leg off.
Okay.
Are the wooden legs? Are the wooden legs on the table?
Yeah, they're wooden legs.
Okay.
Big old thick
So-
legs. And
Smash. I'm going to try and break a leg off.
Give me a strength roll.
Old man, he's like,
Yeah, this old man. Give me a strength roll.
Hard success from the old man on strength.
Oh,
What's
wow.
bigger?
Okay. So
That's like-
you knock the typewriter to the ground as you pull this leg off the table, and it falls to the ground, and you see it split slightly even further, and more of this green goo oozing out of it. And it's still typing away, and the paper is getting longer and longer, but you've got a chair leg now. What would you like to do with it?
Is it broken so it's got any kind of sharp point on it?
Yes, with a hard success.
Okay, so I've got an idea actually. I was going to try. This was my original plan. Was I was going to stake this vampire guy, but let me have a swing at this typewriter first. Actually, I'm going to go
Okay.
on the crack as well. Can I hit the typewriter?
Okay. You can hit the typewriter. It is a typewriter. It cannot dodge.
So do you want just to roll damage?
Just roll damage.
What is it?
1d6 plus your damage bonus,
No damage bonus.
which
yeah,
you do not have.
1d6 for a club, right? 1! You feeble old man! 1 damage.
Oh my god. So you hit it, and I'm... Actually, no, give me a luck roll.
Oh, okay.
You splatter ectoplasm. a
I
little
failed
bit.
by 2. Sad.
You can't spend luck on luck rolls.
No.
So you swing the leg at the typewriter, and you hit it, and you can't pull the table leg back because this goo that is now oozing out of the top of the typewriter and the keys is sticking to it. So that is your go.
That's my turn.
Jack?
All right. Well, a quick question. I know Nick disappeared. Did she land somewhere near us, or did she just like pop and just came through? Or...
She just pops into existence on her ass because her chair was kicked out from under her.
How far is she from me?
She's in front of you on the other side of the table.
Well, since the table is kind of linked to the side, I'll move around it, grab her, push her behind it, and I pull out my gun and I fire at this guy and just take a shot.
Okay, he can't dodge firearms, so give me that firearms roll.
Go on, Jackie boy.
Oh, that sucks. Can I attempt to push?
You can't push firearms because you've already fired it. Do you have enough luck?
I have 29.
You need 15.
Yeah, I'll push 15 to get it to 60.
Okay. Roll your damage.
Okay. I guess I roll a d10. Yeah, I guess I just roll a d10.
Mhm.
Roll a d10. Roll a d10. A 5.
Okay. So you fire this gun and you hit the whoever it is in the right shoulder, and he just looks down at it and says, "That was very rude of you." Tisk tisk. He literally says tisk tisk. So it is now Penelope's turn. NPCs act in one. And Penelope just kind of staggers to her feet and she looks around and says, "Oh, what just happened?" And she is going to look at Nick and move closer over to Nick and try and put Nick between herself and the creature. Her clothes are still singed, but she is not on fire. All right. So, top of the round, Lee. Give me the power roll.
Nice.
Hard success.
Okay. You feel that electrical tingle building up inside of you again. And Madam Mina's chant gets louder. What would you like to do?
Can I ask if it'll help if I chant too? Will that get us home?
Do you speak Latin?
Latino. I can speak Spanish.
Different Latin.
I'm pretty sure I could sound it out. I'm good at reading.
Okay, give me a hard intelligence roll to try and repeat the sounds that she is making.
Intelligence.
Ooh.
Success.
Is it a hard success?
It would be
No.
7 points for a hard success.
Yeah, at least 7 points to look.
Use 7 luck.
Okay, you spend 7 luck and make it a hard success. You're able to pick up the sounds that she's making. She keeps repeating certain things, so you fall into a rhythm, and you are going to give Madam Mina a bonus die on her next roll, which is a very, very, very good thing, considering there's only 4 of you now. All right, Reverend, power roll. Unless you are intentionally not trying to boost Madam Mina.
No, and I failed.
Okay. So you see her wince, and you don't feel that electrical tingle. However, it is still getting very, very hot, and you start to see flames licking at your shoes.
Ouch.
What do you do?
I'm gonna try and stamp out the flames.
Okay. Start stamping at something. Lee, you don't know what he's doing. You just see him start stamping at the ground and trying to do something, but you're not really sure what it is.
And I'm just gonna pray.
Mm-hmm. You start praying, and the typewriter is clicking, clacking, click, clack, click, clack on the other side of the table, and you cannot see what it says. So, back in the other realm, going to make a roll for our friend here. Okay, so...
I'm just like, I'm calling Dracula. That's what it is. It's like, oh, it's Dracula.
He lunges at you, Professor, because your attention was diverted to the typewriter, and he is going to try and bite you. Would you like to dodge or fight back?
Well, I didn't manage to pull my potential stake back out of the typewriter, did I?
No, it's stuck.
Nope, because it's stuck.
I will attempt dodge.
Okay. Good luck.
Big fail.
Big fail? Yeah. Okay. Well, ironically, I got an impale.
Oh, that's the end for me, I think.
So, let's see. And that's gonna be that. Okay. So it does 11 points of damage to you as it sinks its fangs into your throat and blood splurts everywhere.
That is -2. I am major wound and dying, right?
How many HP do you have?
-2.
-2. Okay. So you essentially think you are going to die as you feel your life essence being drawn away from you. There is blood everywhere. You go into unconsciousness, maybe death, you don't know. And then Dracula is gone. And the professor is on the ground, no longer bleeding, and I need everyone but Oliver to take their headphones off, please.
Okay.
I'll give you a thumbs up when it's time to come back.
Okay.
Okay. So, Professor, you are now possessed by the essence of this vampire. You are bound to the master, and you are going to do your best to sacrifice one of these people and let their blood drip into the typewriter. Everyone else can die. You just need one victim. But not Penelope, because she's a mummy. But you now have the stats of the vampire.
Oh.
All clear?
Yep.
Hello.
Everyone back? Oh. Okay. Everyone is back. It is
You hear
now...
that? I'm sorry if you heard my pipes.
It's fine. It is now Madame Mina's turn. As the vampire has disappeared, she gets a bonus die, which is a good thing for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
That around.
So Madame Mina looks, at this point, a good 20 years younger. She's gone from looking 80-something to 60-something. And her chant has gotten louder and longer, and you see the typewriter's fissures beginning to meld back together a little bit. And it is now the professor's turn. Professor, there is no blood. You have not died. You are just here. Dracula's gone. What would you like to do?
So who's closest to me? Who's closest to the typewriter?
Who's closest to the typewriter? That would be Jack
You.
and Nick.
So I will go up behind. Let me just toss a coin for whether it's going to be Jack or Nick. So odds it's Jack, evens it's Nick. So odds it's Jack. I'll go up behind Jack and attempt to grab him by the hair and smash his head into the typewriter.
Okay.
Sorry, old
So,
man, you're gonna get knocked out.
all right. Are you using fighting brawl or fighting back, or are you dodging?
Let's see.
Do you want me to roll brawl?
Yeah, I'm gonna do fighting brawl.
Okay. So, Professor, your strength, which is what you're using, you're using your fighting brawl here. Your fighting brawl is now a 65.
Okay.
Wow.
So I'll just roll a d100. 12. That's an... Is that an extreme?
I don't know.
65 divided by 5?
I can't math.
I'll get a calculator up.
Yeah, let me see what I could do. That's a hard, and I will use. Hold on.
65 divided by 5 is 13.
So yeah, that's an extreme.
It's an extreme success.
See, with fighting back, Max, you'd have to get a critical, essentially.
Would have to roll a
Because
1.
yeah. and you can't push fight back rolls. So in this case, the professor wins.
Can you spend luck on fight back?
You can, however, when you're fighting back, you have to beat the person you're attacking. If it was a dodge, you just equal it, but because it's fight back, you have to beat him. He's got an extreme. You can't beat an extreme except on a crit 1, and you can't spend down to a crit 1.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good night, Max. Sorry.
All right. So you smash his face into the typewriter, and you hear Penelope laughing, and it's this kind of sound coming from her mouth. So you're going to roll 1d6 plus 1d4 for damage.
4 total.
4 total. Okay. So, Jack, you are suddenly smashed into a typewriter, your face, and there's a cut on your forehead that begins bleeding onto the typewriter. And I need you to give me a luck roll because I'm a bastard.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oof.
Fail?
No. Yep.
Okay. You feel this green ooze beginning to meld into your skin as it's trying to hold you to the typewriter. On your turn, you can attempt to break away from it, but it's this acidic, burning sort of sensation, and it is extremely unpleasant. And why the hell did the professor just smash your face into the typewriter?
You just got deep-heated.
And it is now your go, Jack.
What do I have to do? A strength check to get out of that?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. I guess I succeed out of that.
Okay. You pull yourself away, leaving some of your flesh attached to the typewriter, and there's blood. Your blood is now dripping down onto the keys from the wound in your forehead, but you have successfully pulled away. What would you like to do?
I back up and I shoot the professor in the head.
Okay.
Oh, there's no dodge for this.
There's no dodge for that, and you get a bonus die because you are point blank range.
Okay, so what does that mean? Do I just roll the green or do I roll the purple?
Roll the purple.
All right.
Crit. Success.
Is that a 0-1?
Rolled a 1.
You rolled a 1. Okay, so that is max damage plus damage. So you do essentially 20 points of damage. Essentially. And Professor, your head explodes. Or rather, Dracula, your head explodes.
Boom! Nice. Nice one,
And
Max.
You see as his head splits open and brains go everywhere, you see the professor's body shift into that pale suit-clad body of whatever had attacked him earlier.
Yeah.
And you see just the hint of fang from what's left of the jaw as he collapses to the ground.
As I do that, I grab Nikki and Nick and I pull away from the other woman and point the gun at Penelope. So you come near me, I'm gonna blow your brains out.
Okay. So I am going to make a very important roll here. Okay, so the typewriter splits open in both realms, in the void and here. There is the loud bzzz sound of insects. You see Reverend and Lee, you see blood dripping down the typewriter in your realm. As it splits open and this greenish glow begins to form around it, Madame Mina screams in pain. But both of you, both realms, you see that this typewriter that has split open has opened back into the parlor. What do you do?
steps towards the parlor. Go back into the
Yeah,
parlor.
I grab Nick and I jump into the portal. Go right into the portal.
Am I alive in any form?
No, you're dead.
Dude, your
I
head
am
got
dead.
shot in.
Yeah, I am.
You're dead.
Yeah. You are dead.
I'll just mute
Oh,
myself.
hey, before I do
I'll
that,
mute
can I shoot
myself. I'm going to the
Penelope in the
bathroom.
head? So as I'm going through, I'm like, bam!
So, right, so you rush in with Nick, and Penelope comes lumbering after you.
Yeah, I take
Madam,
a shot. Boom.
Madam Mina looks up and starts running for this opening. Do the rest of you follow? Matt certainly is.
Heck yeah.
I'm not letting go.
Okay. So you all run this gate into the parlor. You can hear the storm outside. The clock is still striking midnight. The typewriter is split open on the table with this greenish ooze pouring out into the room. And as you fall into the parlor, landing on the ground, you hear that buzzing, buzzing, buzzing sound. And
Can
behind
we tell where
you,
that's coming from?
it has emerged from the typewriter, and you start to see this glowing mist forming itself into the shape of what looks like a massive wasp that is emerging from this gateway. Just in front of it is what looks like Penelope, and you see Maddie screaming and yelling, reaching out for her as she begins to shift and contort into this creature covered in rotting, deadly smelling bandages as a mummy stumbles out, followed by the phosphorescent form of a giant wasp. And you hear buzzing, "Zzz, my children, the way is open." And the three of you who survived are going to make me a SAN roll for seeing the master of the way.
Okay.
Success.
Extreme success.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Roll mine. Oh, that's a hard success. Yay!
Okay, so that downgrades the SAN die, which is good because that was a d20. Okay, so Lee, you lose 6. Jack, you lose 3.
Whew. Good, okay.
And Reverend, you lose 6 as you realize that everything you believed about God and spirits and demons is a lie as this thing comes out towards you.
Well, that's what, a bout of madness and everything, right?
Have you lost a 5th of your sanity?
I sure have, and that was more than 5,
Right.
too.
So that's going to be a bout of madness. What about you, Lee?
Let me see.
I've only lost 5. I've only lost 5.
I love that laugh,
Yeah.
Max. That is cheeky as fuck.
So you're also at your threshold there, Lee?
Yeah, push
Okay.
me over, yeah.
Double bouts of madness. All right. Question I always ask it when we're getting it to bouts of madness at the end. Do you have an idea for what you would like your bout to be, or shall I roll on my table?
You roll.
Okay.
I would like to go mad and, why did you love me? And start running around with my Bible trying to beat things.
Okay. You're trying to exorcise the entire house.
I am Bible thumping.
And literally. Lee, on your bout, this one's fun. You are going into a bout of heroism.
Wow, that's not what I thought about. It's like, I fight this creature. Oh,
You believe you can save people. However that is, you think you can save everyone. It is your job. You must save them. You are the hero that this situation calls for.
I've just became Batman.
You are become Death, Destroyer of Wasps. So, you have not gone into a bout of madness, Jack. You are allowed to flee if you would like to.
Oh, no, I know exactly what I'm doing. It's like, I see everything going in. I grab Nick. There's a window, and I go, Superman out. I'm like, fist and punching out. Go like, Superman. Out the window with Jack in my arm.
Okay, so you do the heroic thing. You swoop up Nick, and you go crashing out of the window, and you escape out into the dark and stormy night.
What a flashlight. Let's go.
The master reaches out with a giant feeler and touches Madame Mina. And you see her begin to shift. You see her body change. She gets taller. Her shoulders arch. She begins to grow hair and her eyes turn red. And she throws back her head and lets out a howl. And the mummy joins in with the new werewolf that is now in this room.
Oh, God. Have fun with that, guys. All right, hey, I have a quick question. I got a quick question.
Yes.
So, this house has gasoline going into it, right? There's like
Yes.
maybe some kind of pipe or something. I want to, while I'm out, I want to find that.
Okay. So you can give me intelligence to see if you can find it. Meanwhile, Reverend, you are bashing things with the Bible and screaming. The creature, the master, is going to attempt to touch you. Would you like to dodge? You can't fight back in your bout, but you can attempt to dodge.
No, I'm not gonna dodge.
Okay. So it touches you, reaches out, feeler, and make me a POW roll. It's going to be a contested POW roll. Good luck.
Hard success.
Yeah, I got an extreme. This thing has a really, really high POW.
Wait, it's only 6 points of luck.
You want to spend the luck?
I sure do.
Fantastic. You spend the luck as you hear something buzzing around in your head, but you fight it off because this is not what the Lord would want.
He's a lie anyway, but I want my life now.
All right. So how are you going to save people there, Lee? What is your heroic attempt to save everyone?
Well, I think that I seen how he got out with Nick, so I think I'm gonna use my flashlight to direct people. Like,
Like a flight attendant?
Get out! This is the escape. This is not a drill. Get out! And
Okay.
I'm just trying to get everyone to shift and draw their attention towards it.
Okay. So you are pulling people's attention to it. Dr. Matt is going to run for the window. And because it's a broken window, downgrade the difficulty. He's able to get out. Thank you, Jack, for opening the window. You also opened the way. Congratulations. All right. Okay. So how'd your int roll go, Jack?
I rolled a 1.
1.
Whoa.
All right. So I'm gonna ask as you are the storyteller, whatever you want to do. What I want to do is I want to find something where there's access to the light, like the gas.
Yep.
Kick it open, light a match, shiv it in, and let the whole building go blow up.
Okay. I will allow you to do that with that 0-1. So here's how we're going to wrap all of this up as the house explodes. Lee and the Reverend, you are both going to give me luck rolls to see if you can smell the gas and get out of here. Because I am a fucking bastard.
Fucking luck. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I have to do math. 2 seconds.
I rolled a 1 and thank God on the 1. The one thing
You can't spend luck on luck.
I know,
So-
but I need to work out what my luck actually is because I just wrote -7. And
-7.
because I couldn't work it out and I was too interested in what was going on. I didn't want to ask anyone.
Pretty sure you started with 50, which was the same as me. I can remember you started the same as me, 50.
You started with 50, and you've spent a lot of it.
I've got 17.
Okay.
So right now I'll roll.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah, everybody
days. 2 fumbles.
Okay. 2 fumbles. Roll 20 chose violence. All right. So you, Jack, light up this house without even thinking about the people who are still inside.
I'm like,
Mhm. And the last thing that you see, Reverend, is you see Dr. Matt go running and jumping out the window, fairly spryly for a man of his age, and rolling out into the rain. And the last thing that goes through your mind, Lee, is a brick. As everything explodes around you. And there is fire. You smell smoke outside. Jack, you smell the singe of fur and burning flesh as this house explodes. And because you got a crit 1, you also see the house next to it begin to go ablaze. Because that was a pretty massive explosion. And you hear a horrified howl. And how we are going to coda this is, Jack, you run away from the house, grabbing Nick. Dr. Matt comes crawling after you. The house is in ruins. Whatever creatures that used to be people are gone. As you run down the street into the rain, you swear you hear bzzz.
oh shit.
And that is where we will end our game.
Well, that's a nice explosive finish.
The Max special there, Max. I like that.